Good morning, everybody. Today marks another momentous event in our life because we will be able to witness a battle of brilliant ideas from the students of Aloran Trade High School. We will be having our debate with the topic, should we get rid of algebra? This question keeps on raging in the minds of our dear students because lately it was posted in one of the social media sites that algebra will be abolished and will not be a part of our high school curriculum because of many reasons. To hear those reasons, we have our debaters from the proposition or affirmative team. They agreed that algebra should be get rid and will not be a part of our high school curriculum. Our first speaker from the affirmative is Miss Chanel May Maghanoy. Our second affirmative speaker is Mr. Martin Grime P. Cirino. And last but not least, from the proposition team, we have Miss Alea Joy Samurano. To oppose the reasons from the affirmative team, we have also the opposition team. They are against in abolishing algebra in the high school curriculum for these reasons. We have our first speaker. From the opposition, we have Mr. Axel Campos. The second speaker is Mr. Ben James T. Cohotor. And the last speaker is Miss Rachel Rose L. Sumagang. By the way, we have our judges and our observers. From the mathematics department, our head teacher, Mrs. Anna T. Cuevas. Another judge, and as well as our observer, the head of the science department, Mr. Bonito Ferdinand Castro. We have also our master teachers in science department. We have Mrs. Helen Marceliana. Another master teacher of the science department, Mrs. Janet D. Arales. And also a science teacher, Mrs. Glenn V. Bertudaso. We also have our timekeeper in front. We have Miss Princess May Hervey. So before we will start this debate, I will read the rules for this debate. There are two teams, each consisting of 3 speakers. Each team has 3 constructive speeches and 3 rebuttal speeches. The affirmative gives the first constructive speech and the rebuttals alternate. Negative, affirmative, negative, affirmative. The judge must base his decision entirely on the material presented, without regard for other material which he may happen to possess. Any gains made outside of the established procedure are disallowed. Each speaker in each team will be given 3 minutes to give him or her speech. And now we will start the debate. Let's welcome our first speaker, Miss Chanel May Maghanoy.
Hello everyone. I'm here in front of you to tell you one of the reasons why algebra must be abolished from our high school curriculum. We should really get rid of algebra in our high school curriculum because algebra is one of the causes of the huge high school dropout rate in our country. Students have their anxieties when it comes to numbers and most especially to numbers that cannot be seen. And as we all know, that algebra is abstract. Most students experience anxiety over algebra class, tests, and tests. Math anxiety is a phenomenon that is often considered when examining students' problems in mathematics. Mark H. Ashcraft defines math anxiety as a feeling of tension, apprehension, or fear that interferes with math performance. So, because of their anxieties, students tend to make absences in their algebra class and would lead to more absences in all their subjects. And the effect? They will drop from their classes. So, we really have to get rid of algebra in our high school so that we can lessen the dropout rate in our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanel May. And our first speaker from the opposition, let's welcome Mr. Axel Campos.
To my dear opponent, as you said, algebra is one of the causes of the huge high school dropout rate in our country. We have the words, one of the causes, so meaning it's not the main cause of the high school dropout rate. There are lots of reasons that a student will drop from their classes. It may be a problem from their family or early pregnancy, or maybe drug addiction. So we will not put all the blame in algebra only. You said that students will drop from their class because of this so-called algebra anxiety. Math or algebra anxiety is normal. All of us who have taken algebra experience that anxiety. In fact, study shows that you should be a bit anxious before during tests because it helps you perform better. So a little anxiety is a good thing. What isn't good is that when the anxiety gets so bad, this gives you sick stomach and makes you cry. This level of anxiety can interfere with your performance. I think we could lessen the dropout rate in our country if the government, together with the teachers and parents, will work hard, hand in hand, and cooperate so that we could encourage our students to go to school. The teachers also design a class that is fun for the students, and parents will also have their 100% full support to their children. Now onto my substantive argument. Argument 1. Algebra is an important skill to master, as doing so usually benefits you and society. Algebra classes teach transferable skills such as logical thinking and problem solving. But algebra is useful in and of itself countless jobs, from construction workers and carpenters to scientists and engineers. Algebra is the cornerstone of science and further mathematical studies. As algebra is very difficult, it needs to be taught and mastered so that the students can progress. Without algebra, we cannot do calculus, graph functions, or understand imaginary numbers. These skills are required by scientists and engineers. It's important to develop these skills for the benefit of the society. After all, the electricity, cars, computers, internet, just about everything will have required a scientist or engineer at some point of doing algebra.
Thank you, Axel. Now we will have the second speaker of the affirmative team. We have Mr. Martin Gran P. Sereno.
Thank you so much, Ms. Modulator. My following statements will be addressed to the latter speaker. To refute his point, I will state what he has already said. Algebra is not an essential in latter life. This will come up later in the debate. But some of the only jobs that require algebra are jobs that are in the engineering, math, or computer science field. Many of the other jobs don't need an algebra basis. Now to my point. As a second speaker of the affirmative team, I strongly agree that we should have to get rid of algebra in our high school curriculum, for the reason that algebra has a high failure rate and it prevents millions of students from getting their high school diploma, achieving their goals, or getting any job. We all know that algebra is very hard, and it will lead the students to flunk from their algebra test, and result will be a red link in their report card, meaning you have failed in your algebra class. All of you who are here witnessing this debate, imagine yourself as a high school senior with good grades. You're excited to go off to college or to start a job that requires a high school diploma. But then, your report card arrives with a failing grade in algebra. Imagine not graduating because you failed one course and that is algebra. All your career dreams dashed, and few prospects of your job because you couldn't pass algebra. This is how millions of high school students feel every year. If millions of high school students are experiencing this trauma each year, why throw the baby out with the bathwater and put these kids on the street with little hope for a future career or any job? Simply because they didn't pass algebra. John Willis, a professor at the University of Columbia, says, it doesn't serve a student to withhold her diploma for failing an algebra class if she would otherwise receive one. Oh man, you can't even buy X and Y, you can't even use X and Y to buy your foods. Please vote for this measure and make algebra not required in high schools. It is for the benefit of many more high school students to do so. Also, the kids who want to get a job in engineering, math, or computer science can still do so. Because we wouldn't be taking algebra out entirely, just making it not required. Please vote to make high schools not require algebra for the benefit of everyone. Thank you, and that will be all, Ms. Modulator.
Thank you, Martin. And now the second speaker of the opposition team. Let's welcome Mr. Ben James, the Conductor.
The high failure rate is not a proof that algebra shouldn't be taught, but simply that the course is challenging. I think challenging children at school is a good thing. A high failure rate may also be down to poor teaching. I feel that it would be better to evaluate teacher training or the structure of the course examinations. Perhaps we could improve pass rates while actually teaching children something. Failing a high school algebra isn't the end of the world. Numerous professions do not require a certificate or qualifications to join. So even if people fail algebra, which my opponent has shown, life isn't going to pan out terribly. In fact, it might be helpful to get them out on their bike instead of an education system that will never benefit them and that is likely to fail them when they get to the real challenge, like college or university. It is a challenge to the part of the students who strive hard so that he could pass algebra and pursue college, or he could land for a good job. That's all.
Thank you, Ben James. And the last speaker of the affirmative team, we welcome Ms. Alea Joy Zamorano.
Good morning, everyone. For me, I agree that algebra should be get read in our high school curriculum because algebra is not needed in real life. We cannot apply algebra in a real life situation. Take for example, if we're going to the market, do we have to use X in getting the kilos of fishes? Do we have to say to the vendors that, Manang, can I buy X kilos of fishes for my Y money? Generally states, a common question in any high school algebra class is, when are we going to use this? Most teachers cannot provide an answer because there is none. Very few professions actually use algebra. It is required only for certain jobs. Many educators have found that some math classes are more useful than algebra and should replace it. For example, mathematical statistics class is much more useful because people use statistics all the time in their daily life. I don't think that finding things like the slope on a line on a graph is going to be useful in life. That's all.
Thank you, Alea Joy. And now for the opposition, let's welcome Ms. Rachel Rose Subagan.
Good morning, everyone. For me, formulas are a part of our lives. Whether we drive a car and need to calculate the distance or need to work out the volume in a milk container. Algebraic formulas are used every day without you even realizing it. Whether you like it or not, algebra is actually needed in your everyday life. Number and equations are actually used in almost anywhere in the world. Think for example the time when you are out getting groceries. What would probably help you in computing and for staying budgeted is learning how to add and subtract items from your cart. But in this situation, there is still a cashier that could help you with this dilemma. How about in situations wherein you are on your own, like in a gas station? You will fill up your own gas tank, put it back by yourself, and swipe your credit card onto the machine. Then poof, it is done. The price of gas differs from one another each day, changes really fast day by day. The only thing that will help you with your problem on how many gallons you could take with your budget is learning algebra. Economy is really on the rocks today. Money is always the problem, so people tend to budget every single thing that they can. People get trouble or tricks appear. There is no doubt that algebra might be the only thing that is left to help you get through your everyday problems with how to subtract every debt or loan that you gain throughout the years. Professional people also need to know how to add and subtract and compute equations, even if they are not the ones who have to budget the house bills, the electrical bills, or the ones who will buy the groceries. They still need to know how to work their way around numbers. There is no second thinking when we are talking about bank tellers, who should always be alert on what they give and what they should not give to the customers. How about the people in the real estate, stock exchange, or even mini grocery store owners? They still have to have the capabilities to learn and work their way around numbers in order to succeed. So if you are a student who have heard this debate, now is the time to get serious when it comes to studying algebra. Whether you like it or not, numbers will always haunt you until the day you get older. Act fast and understand everything about algebra while you are young. That will be all, Miss Julia.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, debaters, for your opinions. And since we have witnessed this debate, I will ask a stand from the audience. What is their opinion about this topic? Should we get rid of algebra?
Good morning. My name is Jack. I think algebra should not be abolished in our high school curriculum because of these reasons. Number one, it is the students' fault on not hardworking to understand the algebra. Number two, and what if the course we pick on college degree has algebra? Then we won't know what to do. And that will really be the reason of failure. Algebra is required in scientists, especially in engineering. Number four, and even we cannot use algebra in social life, we can use it in problems in money, measurement, or course that we pick, and business.
Wow, thank you, Jack. Any opinions from this topic? Jack says that he is not in favor of abolishing algebra in our high school curriculum. Any other? None? So that ends our debate. Now you heard the speeches from the proposition and the opposition. I hope we could now answer the question or the statement posted in one of the social media site that algebra should be abolished in the high school curriculum, since you are addicted in that social media. Because we have heard the statements from our debaters, the pros and the cons. So, as part of this activity, please, you will write a reflection based on our topic Should we get rid of algebra? And what have you learned in our topic? And now, let me leave this question. Should we get rid of algebra? That's all, and once again, good morning.